The Lord knows who are His. As I listen to some of those who are His, I marvel at the things that are spoken. Some restore the soul with their words of encouragement. Some teach us to press in. Some bring prophecy. Some bring warning and admonition. Some teach us how to endure suffering and to look forward with hope. Some teach us how to rend our hearts. Some teach us His word. Some teach us how to stand against what is coming. All of them reflect His gentleness and His love. His deep and mighty and perfect love. Is one of these better or more important than the other? Not at all. As I sat and pondered this, another thing came to mind about it. And that is the unique circumstances that each one of us have endured in our lives. That was not by coincidence. It wasn't by accident. Father used those things. He used them to teach us and train us and ready us to send us out to do exactly what we're doing and say exactly what we're saying now. All in harmony, because we are of the same Spirit. I want to read to you from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, beginning in verse 20. But now there are many members, but one body. And the eye cannot say to the hand, I have no need of you, or again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. On the contrary, it is much truer that the members of the body which seem to be weaker are necessary, and those members of the body which we deem less honorable, on these we bestow more abundant honor. And our less presentable members become much more presentable, whereas our more presentable members have no need of it. But God has so composed the body, giving more abundant honor to that member which lacked, so that there may be no division in the body, but that the members may have the same care for one another. And God has appointed in the church, first apostles, second prophets, third teachers, then miracles, then gifts of healing, helps, administrations, various kinds of tongues. All are not apostles, are they? All are not prophets, are they? All are not teachers, are they? All are not workers of miracle, are they? All do not have gifts of healing, do they? All do not speak with tongues, do they? I love what Ephesians 4:16 says, from whom the whole body, being fitted and held together by what every joint supplies, according to the proper working of each individual part, causes the growth of the body for the building up of itself in love. And Romans 12, verses 3 through 8 also. For through the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you not to think more highly of himself than he ought to think, but to think so as to have sound judgment, as God has allotted to each a measure of faith. For just as we have many members in one body, and all the members do not have the same function, so we, who are many, are one body in Christ and individually members of one another. Since we have gifts that differ according to the grace given to us, each of us is to exercise them accordingly. If prophecy, according to the proportion of his faith. If service, in his serving. Or he who teaches, in his teaching. Or he who exhorts, in his exhortation. He who gives, with liberality. He who leads, with diligence. He who shows mercy, with cheerfulness. And finally, 1 Corinthians 13, verses 1 through 13. If I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I become a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and know all the mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. And if I give all my possessions to feed the poor, and if I surrender my body to be burned, but do not have love, it profits me nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind and is not jealous. Love does not brag and is not arrogant, does not act unbecomingly, does not seek its own, is not provoked, does not take into account wrong suffered, does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. But if there are gifts of prophecy, they will be done away. If there are tongues, they will cease. If there is knowledge, it will be done away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when the perfect comes, the partial will be done away. When I was a child, I used to speak like a child, think like a child, reason like a child. Then I became a man. I did away with childish things. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I will know fully, just as I now have been fully known. But now faith, hope, love abide in these three, but the greatest of these is love.